Percy Williams is somebody a lot of Canadians don't know about today, but during his time, he was one of the most famous athletes in Canada and somebody who brought us Olympic glory. He's a very important part of our athletic history, and I'm going to tell his story right now. Percy Williams was born in 1908 in Vancouver to English immigrants. When he was 15, he was suffering ill health, and doctors told him to avoid any strenuous activities, which he did for a while, but then he started participating in track and field, and within a few years was his local champion. Wanting to compete in the 1928 Olympics, he ran in the 100 and 200 meter trials and actually came pretty close to setting an Olympic record in the 100 meters. Unfortunately, he and his coach didn't have enough money to actually get over to Amsterdam, but that didn't stop them. They waited tables and were able to bring in money from support across Vancouver to be able to get to Amsterdam to compete. In Amsterdam, he won the 100 meters, setting an Olympic record. But even more impressive, soon after he ran the 200 meters and won gold in that as well. So that was 2 gold he actually took at the Olympics. With the finals, the semifinals, and the trials and all of that, he ran 8 races in just 4 days. And when he returned to Canada, he was a national hero. Everybody loved him. There were parades for him. He was at banquets. He was celebrated coast to coast as our Olympic champion. And one cool aspect about the 1928 Olympics is that was also when the Matchless Six were taking part. These were 6 women who dominated in track and field for Canada. People like Ethel Catherwood, who won gold in the high jump, and the very famous and wonderful Bobby Rosenfeld, who also won gold and silver. And then the 4x100 relay race, the Canadians won as well, defeating the Americans. It was a very good Olympics for Canada. Now, when he got off the train at Granville Station in Vancouver, 25,000 people were there to greet him. That's how celebrated he was. At the Canadian Track and Field Championships, he set a world record. And then in the 1930 British Empire Games, what we call the Commonwealth Games, he also won a gold medal. What he did essentially was just always win. Unfortunately, in 1932 at the Olympics in Los Angeles, he wasn't able to repeat his Olympic success, and he chose to retire, and he became an insurance agent and spent the rest of his life living off the glory of those early years. During the Second World War, he was part of the non-active Canadian militia, and he also served as a civilian instructor with the Royal Canadian Air Force. In the mid-1960s, he actually donated both of his gold medals to the BC Sports Hall of Fame, and unfortunately in 1980, they were stolen, but they were replaced by newly minted replicas, so they still celebrate the story of Percy Williams. Over time, he grew a bit bitter about his sporting experiences, and he was one of the few living Canadian Olympic gold medalists who did not accept an invitation to attend the Montreal Olympics in 1976. In 1982, Williams' mother, Dot, passed away. Williams himself never married, never had children. He was very close with his mother, and during that time, he was also suffering from severe arthritic pain. Soon after her death, he decided that he would end his own life, and he died in November of 1982. Percy Williams has been called Canada's greatest track and field athlete of the first half century of the 20th century. Canada Post released a stamp about him. There's a life-size statue in Vancouver of him, and he was awarded the Order of Canada for his accomplishments in track and field, and a school is named for him in Toronto. A fascinating story with a tragic end about one of Canada's greatest athletic heroes.